NSC Fan TV. I got Drew. I'm Scott. We're talking about soccer. Why? Because we just tied the Columbus Crew here in Nashville on a football field.
On a football field.
Not on a European football field, on an American football field. There were a lot of 30-yard line nonsenses going on out there.
I saw at one point Zardez, he got past the 20-yard line. I have two words. Jossie Zardez.
Jossie Zardez.
And Zelareyan.
So I think that those two, and I think that they're six, and I wrote down those names. Nagby. Their six had a great game.
He had a good game. He
Nagby
accelerates like mad.
He is a great player. He's a really good player.
I don't know how he does
those three had a great game. Zeleryan had a superb game against us.
Yeah.
He had Dax's number. He picked Dax's pocket like 6 times tonight.
He couldn't, So at one point, Sapong, and I don't know why he was where he was. It was after a set piece. And Zelareyan just would effortlessly took
around
the ball from him.
Yes.
I mean,
He is a next level player. He is a fantastic player.
But also on their left wing, Etienne Jr. and Francis. I think they
that left wing
had control of it.
That left wing was very dangerous for them, but they didn't actually create as many chances as I was, because we were sitting there.
I was
we were
worried.
talking,
Yeah.
and I was like, there's gonna be a goal that comes out of this.
Because Johnston had when we collapsed back to 5, right? Johnston was playing really far in,
really deep in. Everybody's worried about Zardez for good reason. Because Zardez was the forward that scored the goals that knocked us out of the playoffs the last time we played them. So I have this is something that's already been talked about. So our lineup, no Lovitz on the left, maybe something to come back to. Washington had an okay game, but it's clear that he's a right-footed player because his crosses look like junior high guy crosses. Now he hustles. He's a quality player. He's got lots of skill, lots of upsides. But every time that those crosses came in, they were skipping and hitting defenders in the shins. Well, nice.
What that means, and I've been saying this for a while, when you have inverted wingers, it means that they have to drift inwards for anything good to happen, because it means they have an option of playing on their better side.
He's playing too far out.
But he's too far out, because guess what? That's where Lovitz would be.
That's where Lovitz's
would be
foot
far
would be.
out with big lefties.
Big lefty.
Yeah.
So we missed that, and I don't think that Washington was as positive. Was not quite the positive player that he needed to be for us.
No.
The other difference that we had was that Godoy was playing effectively right under the forwards tonight. Usually he plays on the 6 or just a little in front of the 6. He was playing way up as an 8, like maybe as like a sort of a 10, like an 8, a 9.5, or like a 9.5, or like a 10 minus 1 or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Typically, you'd see Mukthar playing that kind of position,
right?
I think, and it was kind of weird to see. But also, I think maybe a net positive to have Godoy in that kind of position.
So that's the position he plays for Panama, and I think that he clearly has got upsides there that we have not seen playing in yellow for us.
I think that's right. And I typically I'm critical of Godoy's play, but I thought that game he had
a good game.
Probably maybe the best game aside from maybe Mukthar digging it out for the tie.
Okay, so let's talk about the Mukthar goal.
I mean, that was a nutmeg. No, I didn't see anyone talking about the fact that was a nutmeg on 4.
And fierce. Fierce. It was fast and right at the defense.
It was almost a solo goal, right?
Yeah.
Like he just kind of does everything for himself. But that has to do with, and we talked about this, playing from behind and chasing the game.
It's hard for, like, on the one hand, it's like it breaks my heart that we have to rely on the individual brilliance of Hani Mukthar to be able to chase the game like that. Because now, again, there were lots of passes that were able to create that chance, but it really just required Hani Mukthar just saying, fuck it, I'm just going to dribble at him.
I'm just going to go in.
I'm going to dribble at him, and then maybe there'll be a step over, maybe I'll nutmeg somebody, but I'm just going to have to be me.
He did have earlier a step over where he tried to create some space, and I was just screaming, shoot! Why aren't you shooting?
This step, I'm going to create more space so that it's going to be a wide open shot. Yeah, so that was the first half one. That was not.
That was the first half. Also, but there was a Sapong chance nobody's talked about yet, where the header just
towering.
Yeah,
and then
I'm not sure what the heck happened.
He headed it straight down into the ground. Now, I think that he just overplayed the ball.
I think
he overplayed the ball.
Yeah.
And so instead of it being forward, he was following through, and it just ended up coming off.
I was disappointed with that miss. I mean, because it wasn't even on target, was it?
So let's talk about their goal.
Yeah. Okay.
First off, I think so. There are two things that happened with their goal. Okay. So
you tell me, because I was eating funnel cake while that happened.
It's delicious.
I missed the
delicious funnel cake.
I missed it.
So transitional play. Partly because of the fact. So there was an upside to Godoy playing up under the forwards.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's a drawback to Godoy playing up under the forwards, which is the following. We had no defensive midfielder for their transitional play. And so as a consequence, there was a giant hole that was created that once we turned it over there, it was a 3v3, and Zelareyan was way out right. And so they just played it forward, ran directly at us. Everybody was bailing. And so everybody's kind of running away from the ball, just doing their best to sort of be like, okay, we're going to give you some space. We're going to see if we can regroup. And then they just played it progressively across us. No midfielders had come back in to crash it. It stayed 3v3 for 40 yards.
Yeah,
that is the problem. So there was a bonus to having Godoy play forward, but there's a minus to having Godoy play forward, which is that if he were playing in that sort of 6.5 spot, which he normally plays, that would not have happened.
And that's when Anunga came on. I think that was your comment, that when Anunga came on, it meant that we could see Dax sort of...
My hope was that we'd see Dax playing a little bit more forward.
Redirect his efforts
That's
forward.
Right.
Because that was another where it was Dax, the ball, going forward.
It's true.
I mean...
And I think that, for as good a tackler as Dax is, I think that Zeleryan outclassed him on the ball. And so there were a number of times. Again, Zeleryan is just such a silky player. And if we don't have our A+ best defensive midfielder on him, he's going to create chances.
The issue
this was just the case where he just received the ball and was able to put it away on us. But there were a lot of cases where he just was dribbling around us.
Well, and then too, Zardez coming off with likely it was a preemptive kind of thing, because it looked like he was hurt. He pulled a muscle, or maybe.
I hope he's okay.
I do hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay.
But when he came off, I did notice that we could devote a little more of our efforts to Zelareyan. We didn't have to deal with Zardez crashing in like he normally does, as we mentioned.
All right, so I've got one more. So let's talk about Willis's saves.
Oh my gosh. Well, we talked about last game how this guy just makes himself huge.
Yeah.
It takes up space right where he needs to be. It just kind of statues up.
And that's happened. I mean, like, you think about like that header that was off that cross that was just like, look, that's going in, and it turned out to just be right into Willis's breadbasket.
Right there,
just right there.
I mean, it looks like he just happens to be there, but the more I think about it, you kind of look at where the defense is positioned.
As consistent.
No, he's seeing where things are unfold.
If it's happening consistently like that, that's not luck.
Okay.
That means
it's not luck. It's not luck.
He's seeing something. He's seeing something. Okay. Well, got anything else? I'm gonna check my notes.
No, I think that's about it. I guess maybe.
Willis' saves, the Mukthar goal, Zelareyan's goal, Zardez' sub. Did Columbus just play for the point?
Oh, that was my point actually, about them playing for the point, because I think it was my point.
I listened to you.
Maybe it was my point.
I listened to you while we're sitting there.
They collapsed back like crazy when Zardez came off. I think when Zardez came off, they said, okay, just play for the point. We're away. We're in this weird position where we can be in the playoffs, but we might not be in the playoffs. So...
I think it was a bad idea for them to play for a point tonight against us.
You think so?
I think so. I think that
given us missing the players we were missing, I think that's right.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Like
Given now again, they were playing us tight, and again they could have turtled up. I mean, I think that you're right, which is that once Zardez was out, they were like, okay, maybe the point is the best outcome. But one of the things that we showed was that we were clearly chasing the game. We were truly chasing 3 points.
I think so.
We were trying to win this game. Now again, there wasn't a lot of urgency, but we were trying to win this game, and we left ourselves open. And they saw that.
They saw it, and they capitalized on it. And we just happened to be fortunate to have a player like Mukthar.
So why do we have to chase the game? Why are we always chasing the game?
I mean,
why is this a team that just chases? Like, this has been a thing that we've said so many times on this channel. But why is this a team that just chases the game?
Well, when you have the 3-5-2, honestly, and you instantly, when you see them coming forward, you drop it immediately to a 5.
Drop immediately to a 5 in the back, and flat in the back.
Flat, yeah. I think you're kind of setting yourself up to chase the game.
That's an interesting observation.
I hate to say it,
but I mean, right to me.
It's just, what else do you do when you drop back? Like, you're scared of them scoring, which makes perfect sense. Don't get me wrong. You drop back to the 5. You're gonna have to chase the game because you can't devote enough players going forward when counters happen. So we aren't. I don't think we're as good as we could be on the counter, given the quality of players like Leal, Mukthar, and Sapong.
I think that's correct
because we devote players back.
So recall a handful of months ago.
Okay, well let's
okay. Soccer memory. We were talking about the dogma of 4-4-2.
The dogma of 4-4-2. No, I can't forget that.
And the problem that we had with the dogma of 4-4-2 was that it really was an overwhelmingly defensive setup.
Yeah.
The way that Smith plays the 4-4-2 is that it's really a 5-3-2.
Yeah, that's right.
And because that central midfielder is usually sort of hovering above the. And so here's my question: Have we really gotten beyond that sort of most like something equivalent to it's really 5 in the back?
Well, as Arsene Wenger once said, 4-4-2 mathematically
perfect
to be the best lineup in soccer. So I'll leave it at that.
So I think that our winger setup is a good setup. The issue here is the fact that we're afraid of so many forwards that alarm bells go off with these guys.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we've got a good core 3 in the defense.
We do, and maybe we have to trust them more. I mean, maybe we have to trust them more. Maybe that's what it looks like.
Maybe we have to trust
to not have to chase the game.
Okay. All right. Are we done?
I'm done.
I'm done.
Yeah.
NSC Fan TV, Drew and Scott.
Another time.
Another time.